Hi folks, welcome back to another track guide. My name is Russell, aka Finding Speed on YouTube. We're approaching the end of the season and we find ourselves at Virginia International Raceway, VIR for short, one of the OG tracks in the iRacing catalogue, and a tough one at that. I'm in the Audi. The Audi and the Lambo really suit this track this week. I think you're going to find those are the hot picks. Well, we'll soon see. But best of luck for your racing here. I hope you find the guide useful. If you do, please do give the video a like. Please do subscribe to my channel on YouTube. And hopefully I will see you out there on the track. Cheers, folks. Okay, here we go with my breakdown of VIR, 1 minute 43.8. Race conditions, race fuel. I've moved the brake bias back to 53.5, and we are approaching turn 1 and just at the 3 board, maybe a bit before. It depends what sort of temperatures you get. It's a really early morning race, but it warms up really quickly here. It depends how it generates the weather for your particular session. But around about the 3 board, we're going to brake very heavily, and we're going to keep the car over to the left-hand side. We're going to come down to second, and we really want to be tight to the inside of this curb at this point. We don't want to sail out wide here. The track kind of squeezes us in, so we need to keep the car over to the right-hand side, over to the inside. So we're building up the throttle really slowly. It's very bumpy on this corner, so you have got to watch that and keep it on the inside. And then we're over to the right-hand side, and we're going to lean in onto the inside curb, and we want to be pretty tight here. And just as this curb is ending, we're going to drop out of the throttle, apply sort of a medium-sized brake, and we're going to brake out towards the outside of the track. And then we're going to start dropping out and bring the car back in, and we need to drop out the brake quite slowly. If we come out too quickly here, the back end is going to overtake the front end, and we don't want any of that. Tight to the curb. We're thrown out to the right, which is perfect, and we kind of want to brake just at these, just before these tyre marks on the track here, and we need to sacrifice this corner to give ourselves a really good run at the next complex, because it leads on to one of the longest stretches of flat out acceleration on the track. So we're kind of purposefully giving ourselves a pretty slow exit here. We're tight towards the left hand side of the track, which is what we want. We're in second. We're going to build up and then drop out so we can get the car to turn in. We really want to try and cut off a bit this curb here, because the track falls away really quickly and we're going to run out of it. We need to keep it on here, and we want to sort of be wide by the end of this curb, but it's very, very easy to drop a tyre onto the grass on the end of this curb and ruin your lap or your race. So wide, but not too wide. And then we're going to dip out the accelerator again just a bit, just to promote the car to turn in tight onto this curb. And then from this point, we want to build up the accelerator quick and keep it pinned. You can actually use quite a little bit of the track beyond the curbs on that section there and not getting off track. So we're coming up to some pretty hectic S's. It is flat out all the way through here, but basically you just want to point your car so you're catching the end of the curbs here pretty much. You want to catch the second half of the curbs. And then we want the car to be stable and over the right as we brow this hill. We don't want to be steering heavily at this point. We're entering a braking zone in a very fast left-hander. So the car needs to be stable at this point. Can't stress that enough. And we've got a little patch of lighter coloured material on the track here. That's my marker. We're going to do a relatively kind of middling brake here, and we're going to drop the car to 5th. But notice that I'm already back on the gas while I'm braking. Now I'm doing this very, very purposefully in the Audi here, because the back end at this speed, turning into this corner, is going to get very light. Some throttle here is going to keep the car nice and planted. We're going to pick up this curb and then ramp up the accelerator. It's very easy to run out of track there. We're back over to the left, and around about the 2 board, we're going to start braking. Really, really tough area this. We need to do a lot of braking and turning, which means we want to do some initial strong braking here while we're relatively straight, and then start drawing out of the brake. We're going to come down to 3rd initially. We're sort of dipping the car in a bit. Now we're coming right out of the brake, so we're able to turn. We're picking up this inside curb, and then we're doing a little bit. We're continuing with the braking. We're building up the brake a little bit here. We're down to 2nd now, and we're on the outside of the track, which is where we want to be. And we're about at the speed we want to be able to take this final right by the tree. The tree's not actually there anymore in real life. And then we're heavy on the gas on the exit. We need to get a really good exit there. We've got a long straight. So we're powering down. We're keeping the car on the right hand side. And as we come over the top, we can see we've got these boards ahead. By the arrow board, we're going to stop. We're going to tip the wheel in to the left. You can just see the tip of the curb on the left hand side of the track. That's where we're kind of pointing the car and initializing the brakes. So we want to tip the car in a bit, hit the brakes so we're braking in that direction. And then at the end of the curb, we should be down to 3rd, down to 2nd, and then we're picking up the inside of the curb here. It's very easy to overcook that and run out of track. It takes a bit of practice, but we're flat out through this bit, not too bad. Now we've come down to the final complex, which is very taxing. At the end of this patch of dirt on the right hand side, I'm looking over to the left hand side curb. The track's falling away massively. We need to bite off the second half of this curb, and then we need to hit the brakes briefly. So we're out of the gas, we're over this curb, and as soon as we're landing on the other side, the car's nicely positioned on the left. We need to hit the brakes. We're going to go up, maybe up to 50%, between 40-50% or so, for a very brief period. We're dropping the gears down to 3rd, and then we're picking up this inside curb. And when the car compresses down into the track at this point, we can get on the gas and swing the wheel round further to the right. and the car will stick, and we can keep the accelerator pinned. Incredibly tough little complex that. But once you get the rhythm and the balance of the car right there, it comes together really quickly. So that completes my 143.8 here at VIR. Tough track, doesn't see enough action on the schedule for my money, because it is a classic. Best of luck if you are racing here this week. If this was useful, give it a like. Please do subscribe to the channel for more of these. And if I don't see you before, hopefully I will see you out there on the track at some point. Cheers, folks.